Hello and welcome to the Saline Royale Academy, where today we're going to hear Miré play, and she is going to play the second of Schubert's three piano pieces, or drei Klavierstücke. This one is in E flat major. you very much, Miré. What a beautiful piece of music that is. This little group of 3 pieces is, overall, it's not as well known as his famous impromptus and his moments musicaux, but I think it's a great favorite with pianists. They do get played a lot, and probably this one of the 3 of them is the best known. It's absolutely wonderful form, song, really a song with a kind of an A, B, A, C, A structure.
Yes.
So it has 2 contrasting trio sections, both of which are darker in mood in different ways. The B section, the section that follows here, I see as a little bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare section, and there's strange rumblings going on. There's definitely an air of terror and something frightening, something frightening there. Whereas the next one, which is in A flat minor, is instead a beautiful lyrical, what's the word I'm looking for? Lament, almost like a lamenting.
Yes.
Certainly there's a sad undertone in that. But in between we have this beautiful simple melody of Schubert in his most song-like mode. And I was just reflecting on this piece, and suddenly I kind of noticed that it is, so much of this style of music goes in regular units of maybe four bars or 4 phrases. But if you look at the length here, it's irregular at the end. So he has 2 bars plus 2 bars plus 2 bars. But then to finish off, he has a slightly longer phrase, 3-bar phrase. Which changes it and allows it to kind of to sit and answers in a way that answers everything that's come before, the 3 earlier phrases. But most of the phrasing is irregular. There's a certain amount of irregular phrasing, I think, in this middle section as well. Not so much at the beginning, but a little bit later on when he has. So he ends up with 2 plus 1 plus 2. So you've got a kind of a 5-bar unit there and another 5-bar unit. So he is varying things a little bit, but a lot of it goes in 4. In 4 is 4 plus 4. One might make an exception of the link passage. Which sounds as though it's completely free, but in fact there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10, a little bit like the 9 bars we had at the beginning. But it's made tricky because it changes on the 3rd bar. So left hand changes, then the right hand changes, and then stays, and then changes. So it changes a few times on the even numbered bar, where we expect it to change regularly 1, 3, 5, 7, but in fact he kind of changes the left hand, changes the right hand. So we don't quite know where we are there for a little while, and I think that's quite on purpose. Yes. I think he's written that as something that you don't quite know what's happening there, with this kind of sliding. Where is it going, That sounds as though it's going to go to E minor. Maybe back to C major, maybe not, and then, now we're home, and makes it even more clear that we're home there. Yes. back to there. So that's an interesting little episode. I like very much your shaping, your sense of the phrase, very good. Just a couple of things I would say. I feel maybe there's a little bit too much of a stop there. There were just a couple of times in the piece that I would question how much of a stop there was. But not to actually sort of to me maybe that's a little bit too much, especially as it's just in the middle of a section, if you know what I mean, rather than a real ending. Or sometimes sections do come to a complete stop and then go off again, but this isn't like that really, because he's continuing the argument. So a little bit compromise there, I think. Okay. Probably the thing I felt the most. Now I know I'm sitting at an unusual angle. An audience would usually be out there in the seats, but here I was sitting kind of diagonally to the left. So maybe the sound I was getting is a little bit different from what the audience would get. But from where I was sitting, I felt that the left hand was a little bit too much.
Oh, okay.
It was impacting a little bit too much. So that and the dynamics are very gentle with this piece, pianissimo a lot of the time, and then piano, then pianissimo. So a lot, except here. So I would say in the beginning, in the first line, just keep the left hand down a little bit. So even here where it joins the melody,
yes,
but keep it still below, you know. So you want to show the left hand when it has something to say, but not too much. Okay. I think for Schubert, the role, you have to think of leader, basically. And the singer is here, obviously. And what he would have written, his piano accompaniment would have been. So, like a piano accompanist, you have to really stay under the singer, I think, all the time. So that's the main thing I think I would suggest. And funnily enough, it also applied in the kind of concluding section here, for example, when it came back. And then even stronger. Just be careful that it doesn't become. Because if this rhythm becomes prominent, then it's interfering with the important flow or the long notes. Stops. So these notes must never take away from that. They're on a different level. So can we just start it again? Okay. And just do that. So left hand very legato all the time, and almost as though they're all somewhat phrased. He does show a phrase there, but so not every note. So more like a shape, a broken chord almost. Yeah. Repeat this time. Okay. Yes, I think I felt that when it got into the second half of the thing there, you do need to broaden the sound. There's no crescendo marked, but it needs to enrich a little bit, and then to grow, and and then not to finish too softly, so that then you can do it softer the second time, so that it's possible to do it softer the second time. Otherwise, it becomes too difficult. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's take it the first time again. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm still feeling that the two hands are a little bit too equal from what I'm hearing.
Okay.
As I say, I can't be in two places. I'd like to be out there. But so can you, just as an experiment, bring up the right hand a little bit? So go even the upbeats a little bit more. They needed to sing a little bit more. The upbeat notes. So bring that. Just play that for me and sing it out a little more. More? Yes. Right from the first note, a little bit more. Yeah. Good. Fine, that's fine. And now maybe just the left hand, but really, really soft for me, left hand. Softer. Exactly. Now put the two hands back together again.